Well, happy Mindfulness Monday, everyone. My name is Danielle Paulo. Thank you for joining us today. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are a returning Mindfulness Monday member, welcome back. Everyone will be muted during today's session. Feel free to use the chat to communicate with us, share your questions, your thoughts, or where you're joining us from. Like I said, we invite you to turn on your camera if you feel comfortable to do so. Join our other PD Health at Home programs, Wellness Wednesdays, Fitness Fridays, expert briefings, and our Spanish language series, EP Salud en Casa. Learn more about our upcoming virtual programs and register at parkinson.org/pdhealth. PD Health at Home is presented by the Light of Day Foundation, whose generosity has made this programming possible. And with that, I am so excited to invite our moderator for today, Devin Hase, an author and meditation teacher, to share with us and guide us through today's mindfulness session. Thank you so much for being here today, Devin.
Thank you, Danielle. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to put you in gallery view so I can see all of you. Hello, welcome. It's always such a joy to be with you. I was telling Danielle and Laura before we started the recording that I look forward to these Mindfulness Mondays, and it's actually been a minute since I've been with you. You've had Nico, my partner, with you. I think Nico was with you in January and also the March Mindfulness Monday with him, and also last month, April. So I'm just so thrilled now to be with you finally and to share some reflections on kindness, this practice of kindness. So maybe you've heard it as loving kindness sometimes. Often in mindfulness communities, we talk a lot about these kind of two wings of the bird, that we've got the whole mindfulness wisdom aspect that we're cultivating when we're being mindful of the body, when we're mindful of our thoughts and emotions. There's a lot of insight and wisdom that comes. And yet, if we don't have this second wing that represents kindness or compassion, right, these heart qualities that pair with wisdom, it's really hard for the bird to fly. So we need to be cultivating both of these aspects, the wisdom aspect, understanding the steadiness that can come when we see impermanence, when we understand more about the human condition. There's a lot of grounding and a kind of radical acceptance, actually, that comes when we're with our experience in this moment to moment mindful way. But that paired with kindness, this warmth, right? You've probably heard some of us guides, sometimes we talk about a warm awareness or a kind attention. When we bring this kind of compassionate mindfulness, everything gets easier. Everything gets easier. Sometimes I talk about meditation. It's as if, we're on a boat and we're learning to sail. And we've got all the sails up and we're attuned to the weather, right? The way that the wind is blowing in our sails. But kindness is kind of like our rudder. If we don't have our rudder to keep us in the straight, right? Going in the right direction, understanding why we're doing all this practice anyway, then we're going to capsize, right? The boat gets a lot less wieldy when we don't have a rudder. And so we can think about these heart practices, cultivating genuine kindness, cultivating genuine compassion as a boost and a support, a kind of ballast for all the other mindfulness that we do. And I'll speak from my own experience, it's easier said than done. In a lot of our teaching and writing, Nico and I talk about what we call the trance of nice. The trance of nice. So I think in mainstream culture, we hear kindness and we think, oh, that means I should be a nice person, right? That means I'm never upset, I'm never reactive, I'm never irritable or grumpy. And that's like perfectionism, right? That's a pretty high bar. And in meditation, we're not going for perfect. We're not becoming a more perfect person. We're not becoming a nicer person. I mean, maybe that will be a side benefit, but the trance of nice is this kind of people pleasing. I mean, I know from personal experience, there's a lot of kind of false kindness that comes when we're just trying to be, accepted. There's a kind of people pleasing niceness that can come off as kind of Pollyanna or a little bit shiny. And underneath that trance of nice, there's a whole lot of emotions going on that actually aren't very nice at all. And so when we're practicing kindness, we're cultivating a very different quality of the heart. It's not a need to appease or to always be polite. It's a kind of strong kindness that can weather the storms, that can actually say what's true. Sometimes kindness doesn't even feel that nice. We might be speaking a kind of direct truth, but it's to something that needs to be communicated. What do we need right now? We're communicating our needs, or we're giving people feedback. These are all ways that we can be kind in a kind of strong way. And I think even with ourselves, and this all comes back to how we're relating to ourselves, we tend to be pretty harsh with our own practice, right? Our own inner monologue. There can be a very strong inner critic that might be covered over by this false niceness. But actually, inside, there's a sense of it's a harsh environment inside, right? There can be a lot of inner criticism, a sense of failure inside, or this like kind of secret we hold, like I'm actually not a very nice person internally. And so this practice of kindness, it's not like genetic. It's not like, oh, I was just born a kind person or I was born a not kind person. That's just what our inheritance is. It's a practice that we cultivate just like any other meditation. So knowing that we actually have this capacity inside to be kind. In meditation circles, often the definition of kindness is simply the wish to be happy. I just want to be happy. And then we can wish that for other people too. And that's genuine kindness. May you be well. May you be healthy and strong. May you feel safe. These are genuine wishes of kindness. And it really is revealing when we start here with ourselves because it's our basic nature to want to be happy, to want to feel well and loved, right? And cared for. So the irony is that metta, or this kindness practice that we're doing, is a natural capacity that we all have. We all naturally wish to be well, balanced, safe, at ease. So it's a natural capacity and it's a quality that we cultivate. It's something that actually can grow in us the more that we start to cultivate an inner monologue that's kind, that's based in this well-being, that's based in our genuine care, right? I care about this heart, mind, body system. And then we can extend that out to everybody else we meet. And I care about your heart, mind, body system. So both a natural capacity and something that we can lean into and train in, even in our most difficult moments. And so I'll say something just quickly before we go into our meditation about the difference between kindness and compassion. So if we think about kindness as this basic well-wishing, this basic sense like, yeah, I want to feel happy. I want other people to feel happy in their lives, to feel at ease, to feel healthy. Even if we're not, of course, our bodies are all imperfect, but can we tap into a deeper sense of balance, well-being, basic sense of wellness, of goodness? So that kindness is goodwill. When that kindness turns towards suffering, maybe it's a certain physical pain that we have or a mental pain that we have. Maybe it's anxiety or fear or grief. That kindness, that wish to be happy and well, it turns into compassion. It's the compassionate wish that we not suffer, right? May you feel at ease. May this pain decrease. I care about the suffering. May your wellness increase. So compassion and kindness, they're kind of like cousins. They're made of the same like good wishes, but they change flavors depending on what they're turning towards. So basic goodwill, when turned towards suffering, becomes compassion. And then similarly, that basic goodwill, when turns towards happiness and well-being, it becomes joy. So there's this kind of appreciative joy, almost gratitude, that comes when we can turn that kindness towards something that's going well in our lives. Oh, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful I'm actually sleeping okay, or I'm grateful for the support that I have, for the medicines that I take. There can be a kind of appreciation, a gratitude for the things that are going well in our lives. And same thing for others. When we turn this kindness, this goodwill out into the world and we see, oh, there's actually people out there who are doing well in their lives right now. We can have a kind of celebration, an appreciation, like, I'm happy that you're happy. May all of these blessings continue for you. May they grow and grow. So we can see this basic goodwill transforms its flavor. When turned towards suffering, becomes compassion. When turned towards well-being, it becomes joy. And then there's this fourth quality, which we'll talk about later in the year, but this fourth quality that's called equanimity. Equanimity feels kind of like an old word, but it basically means balance. It's a sense that within our wishes for goodness, for happiness, for safety, we also can accept that this moment is just exactly like it is. Sometimes our wishes to be healthy and well, they're not going to come true. And so equanimity can hold all of this wish with a kind of wisdom, with a maturity that says things are as they are, and I'm going to do everything I can to be happy, to be well, to rest right here in the moment with things as they are. So equanimity keeps all of this in balance, right? Without equanimity, this kindness can become a little sticky and attached to like, I gotta get healthy without reckoning with reality. Equanimity keeps kindness balanced. Same thing with compassion. We wish, oh, may my suffering decrease. And equanimity says, yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to help. And things are as they are. So we need all of these heart qualities. The joy can get a little bit too effusive. If it's not balanced with that reality check. Like this moment is as it is. And there's 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows in this experience of being human. So the body will have easeful moments and it'll have difficult moments. Same thing with the mind. And if we can hold that all in this field of care, this sense of kindness, then everything becomes a little easier. So I thought we could do some practice today. It's a kind of self-compassion practice. And I know self-compassion is also a buzzword in the mindfulness community, but I'll just guide a kind of, it's a receiving care practice that I do often for myself and for those that I love. So I'll guide this practice today, and then we'll have a little bit of time for discussion at the end. So we can settle into our meditation posture, and as always, it's really nice to be as comfortable as possible. Not always perfectly comfortable, but find a position in your body that feels supported. Make sure you're warm enough. Maybe you have some supportive cushions or blankets. And then maybe take a deeper breath or two just to get started. And then letting your breath return to normal. And we'll rest here in the moment just as it is for a couple of breaths, just feeling the body, feeling the heart. Letting yourself be very natural, whatever you're holding here in this particular moment on this day. For me, it's about noon on a Monday in Madison, Wisconsin. So letting yourself receive the moment as it is. And now from this calm abiding, we'll actually use our imagination here. And I'll invite you to think of a caring figure in your life. Maybe this is an actual caregiver. Maybe it's a best friend, a family member. Maybe it's your grandchild. Could be a pet. Somebody who loves you a lot, has your well-being in mind, who really wants you to feel happy and at ease. It doesn't have to be the perfect person, but imagining a caring figure, someone who represents deep kindness in your life. You might just invite them now into your mind's eye, seeing them. You notice the facial expression. Notice their presence here in the room. It could be a grandmother or a teacher, coach. And now, as you invite them into your mind's eye, feel how it is to be with this caring figure. Let them really take you in, their unconditional positive regard, and how they want you to be happy and well, at ease in your life. And see if you can receive those good wishes from this caring figure. Let yourself open and receive their love. You might see them smiling down upon you, just sending you all of these good wishes like sunlight. Care for you. May you be happy in your life. May you feel at ease in your body. May things be easy for you. And this practice of receiving care is a very deep kindness meditation. And of course, we might meet our edges, a sense of unworthiness or a sense of loneliness. Or maybe it's hard to find the right caring figure. But knowing that this kindness, this field of care is much bigger than any struggle. Letting the field of care hold you in a big space that includes your pain and includes your difficulty. Let yourself be held in the care of this loved one. And trust their good wishes for you. Trust that they care. And they're here with you, showering you with their love. And we'll do this quietly for a few moments, knowing you can always come back to the simplicity of your body or your breath. Just practicing receiving the care of this loving figure, this benefactor for you. Often, when we do these receiving care practices, we might feel vulnerable or sad, or other emotions might come. Or maybe we feel frozen inside, we get distracted. So, all of these are natural responses to this practice of kindness. And then, when we notice, we just open, rest in this field of care, trusting your intentions. You don't really have to feel anything in particular. We just trust the intentions for the practice. Keep receiving these good wishes. May you feel at ease in your life. May you feel safe and protected from harm. May you give and receive all the love that you need. And notice how your body feels as you receive all this care. And again, no particular feeling is necessary. Just let yourself receive. And now you can continue to receive the care of your benefactor. But if it feels right, you can also maybe turn these good wishes back out to them. There can be a sense of appreciation, of gratitude, and then just reflect all this kindness back, like also for you. May you too feel at ease in your life. May you find happiness and safety. May you give and receive all the love that you need. And see how it is to rest in this receiving and giving at the same time. That your heart has this capacity. You might notice sometimes offering is easier than receiving. It might be more natural to send out these good wishes. Go ahead and do it. Send out this kindness right back to your caring figure. May you feel safe and protected. May you be healthy and well. May you give and receive all the love that you need. Mm. Okay, and now as you're ready, you can just let go of any images, any effort to meditate, and just let yourself be very simple for a few breaths. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, just resting and simple awareness. Okay, and so as you're ready, maybe bringing some movement into your body. If your eyes were closed, you can open them, maybe look beyond your screen. And staying with this sense of presence, even as we begin to interact some more. Come out of the formal practice, we can do informal mindfulness even now. And we have a little bit of time for questions and some conversation, but also this is such a beautiful group. We might just send out some of those good wishes, to everybody here in the room as well. Maybe there's familiar faces. Maybe we don't know anybody, but sending out all that goodness. Like, may we all feel healthy and safe and at ease in our lives. May this be so. So I'd love to hear how that was for you. You're very welcome to put comments in the chat, any questions that you have. I love hearing where you're from. There's people all over the place in this gathering. But curious if you have questions for sure, but also just what was difficult, what was surprising. Um, did you enjoy this practice? What came up for you? Be very curious to hear. Very relaxing. Good. I'm glad, Dave. That's great. Yeah, I have to say, this is one of my favorite daily practices, and often I don't do it formally like we just did, although, I mean, that was just maybe 10 minutes of meditation, so you can do it in a brief time. But I'll do it while I'm riding my bike or while I'm on the bus or just, having a moment in line at the post office. I'll have this sense of receiving care. Sometimes it's like just from where I'm in Madison, there's all this springtime. There's flowers and leaves are coming back and just receive goodness, from the weather. So you can do receiving care with all different kinds of benefactors. Your benefactor might be a tree. But how was that? Was it easy to think of a benefactor? Yeah, Mother's Day coming up. We should also have a Grandmother's Day. So much loving kindness. That is true. Sometimes I think about this being like it's grandmother practice. It's like remembering that kind of big-heartedness of a grandmother who's like basically her role is just to love, right? That's what she's there for. So we can do that with the grandmothers and the mothers. I use my mom a lot too, receiving that care. I enjoyed the practicality of the expectations prior to meditation. It was a lovely experience to focus on the caring person. Yeah, kindness is very practical, actually. It's really practical. And my loving kindness teacher, her name is Sharon Salzberg. Maybe some of you know, she wrote a book called Loving Kindness. She's lovely. And she's so matter of fact. She's from New York. She's actually not like too nicey nice. It's not a lot of like fuzzy, soft. She's just New York. She's a New Yorker. But that kindness is so practical. It's so grounded. And then you really trust it. It's real. So that's the kindness we want to cultivate here, this kind of grounded. Um, so grateful for these people in my life and that I am in their lives, full of loving kindness. Yes. And isn't it easy to kind of forget that? So that's why it's a training to really count our blessings, to recognize, yeah, there's so many wonderful people in our lives, even strangers, neighbors. Yeah, thank you for connecting with benefactors in my life. It's great. Instead of returning the good wishes, I paid it forward from one generation to another. Oh, very enlightening. That's so beautiful. Yeah, it is a sense of kind of paying it forward or stepping into this lineage of kindness. When we're resourced and fully receiving all that care, it's naturally paid forward, right? It kind of shines out. It's just natural. You don't have to force it. Um, Love to meet all the lovely people on here from all over. We understand each other in many ways. That's the strength of this group, really. There's a resonance, even though it's all people are all over the place, it's global. You maybe have never met in person, but there's a sense of resonance and depth. And, Nico and I, we teach all over the place, lots of different communities, but we feel that with you in a deeper way because you understand each other and there's that deep bond. Very relaxing and will probably be helpful in resting. Good. I hope so. Yeah, during nap time, resting, just open, receive care. It's so lovely. You could put a picture, of your grandma or your benefactor near you, somewhere in your house, and then remember and receive care that way. Yeah. Very grateful for our practice and for you all. Oh, thanks, Eric. It's great. It was hard to consider one person and focus on them. At first, that bothered me. Then I recognized I was blessed. Yeah, I've heard some people that, you kind of think about benefactors and there's all this jostling for position. Like, oh no, both sisters came, or sisters and cousins and friends. And there's a whole other practice. Maybe we'll do this with you later. It's called circle of benefactors, where you actually call in many and you just do circles and circles of all these caring figures. So you could experiment with this. You don't have to just have one person. You can really invite in all the ancestors, all your relatives, your friends, have them circle you. Sometimes I'll do this with poets and writers and other visionaries that I love. So lots of ways to be creative. All right, I'm looking at the time. Yeah, remembering self-compassion, self-love. I'm just going to put one more link in the chat. Nico and I wrote a book. It's called This Messy, Gorgeous Love, and it has a bunch of these practices in it. We write a lot about kindness. So you can find it there on our website. And we'll be back with you. I'll be back with you next month. So a lot of gratitude to the Parkinson's Foundation, to all of you, to Danielle. Great to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devin, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We will include a link, the link that Devin had to put in the chat in our follow-up email, so feel free to take a look at that link from there. Join us next week for our live Mindfulness Monday. That will be with Dr. Taylor Rush. And until then, please continue to watch our recordings at parkinson.org/pdhealth. Join our other PD Health at Home programs. And for any other questions related to Parkinson's, please contact our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO or visit our website at parkinson.org. Thank you so much again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.